Well, local Smash Brothers is it's popping, it's booming. We're seeing brackets that are double the size of the usual brackets, and tournaments running super late. And I think this is really just a preview at the moment. But you're listening to the Gloves Off podcast, a Super Smash Brothers podcast dedicated to growing the local scenes. I'm your host, Chris ZX, and Koopa. You've been to quite a few of these tournaments, and have you gotten home at a reasonable hour yet?
Well, considering that every grand final set I've commentated in this game has gone to at least a game 8 reset, no,
No reasonable hours.
absolutely not, never.
Hey, Zone, how are things in Chicago? Things running late over
Uh,
there
I
too, or?
I haven't entered anything yet, actually. I kind of wanted to avoid the first couple of weeks of entering because I kind of
Smart.
felt it would be organized chaos. But uh,
No, that's pretty good thinking, and it's a good thought process. But Steve, you've been going to some tournaments.
I
I think
went
you were
yeah.
just at a late one last night, I think.
Oh my god. Like I didn't even realize it at first, like where the time was going. Like I still thought it was like roughly maybe like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And then like I was still in losers waiting for my match. The next thing you know, I get called. I go to grab my stuff, look at my phone, it's 11:15. I'm like, oh my goodness, what is going on here? I
All
need to go.
all I'm gonna say is we're pretty lucky that most of the people playing are still students and are about to be on break because it's kind of rough, dude. It's kind of rough. Like even watching streams, like I've been watching a lot of the locals, and I think Zeno last week went to like 1:30 a.m., like which is super late, and I'm sitting there like laying in bed watching the stream, but also interested to see who wins the first Ultimate Zeno. Yeah, it's strange to see, and I don't even know what to attribute it to. I know the games are a minute longer technically than they were in Smash 4. There's an extra stock, and the levels that the players are at skill wise are still not very wide, so you are seeing a lot of close sets. I mean, I don't know why would basically tournaments be running this much extra? I mean, there are a lot of extra entrants too, but
I mean, well, like they have to like adjust to like the new rule sets, the extra stock. I guess they weren't expecting it to play as big a factor as it is now. This is something they just have to adjust to, change their timings a bit and just prepare themselves like much more like advanced than what they did before in like Smash 4. But before everything was like kind of more consistent and they were just able to run things without any issues. Now it's like a complete new game. We have new faces and returning faces as well. So entrants have doubled, tripled if that. We witnessed it here in Jersey. It's happened in New York, and it's just gonna just escalate all over the place. So they're just gonna have to work on it. As the time goes on. It's still early on, so
it is still early, and I'm even seeing just in the chat now already mentioning that the game will move a lot quicker once people get better, and I actually think that's super true. Um,
exactly, yeah. Because like he's mentioned this like a multitude of times that these people are still playing Smash 4, and he's
Yo,
not
for
wrong.
real.
As bad as it may sound for them, and if they take it as disrespect in any ways, are are bad, I guess. But it's true. Like they're playing like really run up and shield. They're not exploring these new options that are given to them. And and I'm a big like preacher of this. I feel like people are too afraid to like explore these new techs that we have, the new dashing, the new parry mechanics. Like they don't want to take that kind of risk. Like granted, it's still early on. Like this is the time to make that risk. Like
yeah,
you make it now so that you learn from it and you perfect it later on in the game.
yeah,
and
Facts.
that's one thing that I've been like sort of eyeballing is a lot of people that are playing their Smash 4 mains are trying to like break the mold of Smash 4 and like insert it into Ultimate, and I think that that's terrible. I think that the best way to learn Ultimate is not play a character that you're used to
Yep.
because you need to get rid of your old habits, and in
Hmm.
order to do that, you should start fresh, start with a new character.
Agreed.
yeah,
Yeah.
and go ahead, Coop.
I was just gonna say, outside of the fact that the game will speed up when people get better, it's also not just that because it's like Steve just alluded to. There's a much bigger boom of like player base now, and it's exactly what I've been alluding to for the last like 2 months since we've been doing this.
Yeah,
Is that, and it's cool to see this come to fruition. But it's also a real test that a lot of your local TOs are probably not used to running brackets that size. Like locals very rarely, like unless you live in like a very like highly populated region that like gets a lot of stuff. But our locals are kind of, we never really eclipse like, I 25 30s on a good day, is a good day for a Jersey local. But like
now he's
Spectrum,
out here like dropping like 60 bombs like every week
Yeah.
now.
yeah, Xeno had like almost 100 entrants last week. Spectrum's had like back-to-back 60 entrant, or yeah, they had.
I think they had 50, and then they had
they had
60.
60, yeah,
It's good,
66.
good growth over a week. Yep.
So like, there's definitely both learning curves for both the players and the people staffing the tournaments, because it's kind of like for the next like few weeks, every tournament is going to be like a pre-national weekly, where it's just like there's like mad fucking heads that show up, and like the tournaments don't end till like 1 o'clock,
Well,
2 in the morning.
And yes, I know Steve did mention this earlier, where he said like numbers have doubled. Like that's actually that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah,
I've
not
been
even an exaggeration.
yeah, that's not an exaggeration. I've been watching this stuff pretty closely, especially the past several months going into Ultimate. And what I can tell you is the established locals, ones that you'll even see scrolling on the bottom right screen. I have to update these ads, but the ones you'll see if you're watching, these are like somewhat established and would get probably, I don't know, anywhere between 15 to 30 on a really good day, but probably somewhere in the like 20s entrants. And then like, yeah, we're seeing those guys 50, 60 entrants, and
then for Xeno, it usually gets like 40 to 50. and
yeah, that's at 100 now. And even with a lot of setups, because like I know Xeno's pretty well equipped with setups. I think they had 16. Despite that, with that many like people in there, like those 16 setups still like they get occupied. So like that stuff, it still takes you to the wee hours of the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it has been kind of nice seeing all this come to fruition, because this has been something we've been talking about for the past several weeks, several months, and it's nice to see that it wasn't just like a thought. We're seeing lots of new players, seeing some Melee guys. I don't want to get into the tournament specifically yet, but like there was even I know Pelka this weekend was competing in an online tournament in addition to an actual physical tournament at Northeast Conference.
Elka has went to 13 tournaments in the past 10 days.
Oh my god, dude.
Jesus Christ.
I saw the tweet, and this was a tweet he posted yesterday. He said 13 tournaments in 9 days. I don't know how, but go at it, get it.
Go off,
Yeah, man.
Go off, King.
Go off, King.
It's
For real.
but it is pretty cool, because now we're seeing excitement that we haven't seen in a very long time. This kind of level of excitement was there for Smash 4. At some point, just the audience was so much smaller. So seeing that a little bit, magnified and a little bit more wider reaching is kind of encouraging, because even like viewer numbers are up on the stream, like on every stream you'll see. I mean, VG Bootcamp, like obviously already had like really good viewership, but now they're in like double-digit thousand, or I'm sorry, like they're basically their viewer base has gone up dramatically.
Zero has like jumped up to like top 10 streamer. Like,
Yeah, that's true, man.
like,
Yeah, Zero's chilling at like 10 to 15,000 viewers at any given moment, which does put him as a top tier streamer. Very, very much so. There's only a few other people that really go to 20 and beyond, but yeah, he's been flirting with it. Nairo's viewership has gone up. Yeah, the level of excitement's there, and even now that the dust has settled, because I know there was like, it was crazy the first week. There was like hundreds of thousands of people watching Smash, but there's still a lot.
The poor get rich and the rich get richer.
Yeah, basically. I mean, that's kind of something we expect, though. Like Zero's kind of just like been on the low and whatnot. Like even with like his like latest sponsorship with Temple Storm, wasn't something we were like really prepared for. We didn't think he was gonna leave like TSM. He had no really reason to. He wasn't doing anything. But like I don't know.
That was also like a very quiet breakup.
It really was, yeah. Like everything was like mad low key about that. If anything, it wasn't even like we didn't even find out from him or like the organizations, right? We found out from like this guy who's been like literally has like the juice on everything like FGC related, and he's been telling us like all this dirt. He's like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna get signed by this team, or this guy's gonna get dropped by this team, etc. Like it was literally just completely spoiled, as if it was like like an ending to a video game or whatnot. So like,
The interesting part about Zero is he does already very well has that label best Smash player in the world. Like he not only was he like dominant in Smash 4, but he ended up winning the Invitational that Nintendo threw for Ultimate with like basically all of the good people. So seeing his growth is definitely I mean, I don't know. I think it's good for everyone because even like if you watch like his tier lists, he just did like his first tier list or maybe second, I'm not sure, but he did tier list last week, and like him and I think Leffen did one as well. Like that,
Yes.
like those tier lists are really the only ones that carry real weight, the ones that people take seriously. So, like, you know what I mean? Like if Zero wasn't a person or like active or doing Smash stuff for whatever reason, like this big chunk of information that people are really looking for just wouldn't really be out. At least not as like prominent as it is now. Like people wouldn't know that Inkling is a really, really, really good character despite them being super frustrating to play. But you know what I mean? Like it has definitely like solidified some of the opinions and some of the just I guess I'll call them like what's the word I'm looking for? Or basically just everyone agrees upon like yeah, like Crom and
just, like,
Inklings
just
are busted.
follow
Yeah, it's a general consensus.
Yeah.
There we go. Words.
I
My
mean,
man's got Yoshi. My man's got Yoshi in top tier though.
I slightly beg to differ, only because I still don't think any tier list, regardless of who made it, like I don't think that it cements really anything.
Oh,
think
it
Yeah, like,
doesn't
it-
at all.
I think it's more on the side of speculation than cementing. But it does add, like it only adds to like everyone saying Inkling is broken. Hey, look, Zero says Inkling is top 3. Like it only adds, but it doesn't cement.
The one thing I will say is if you look at his tier list, I mean we're a little bit off track here, but I don't really care. But his tier list like is pretty basic. It's basically okay. Here are your top tiers. Here's people that were better than they were in Smash 4. Here's like your just like middle section, almost like not copy paste from Smash 4, but maybe not like nothing really notable. And then just like your low tiers, which are just like Kirby and Mac. Like it's like barely a tier list, but it gives you a jumping point.
Yeah, it makes sense.
No respect for the savior of the universe. How dare you?
But
I mean, you gotta-
we see like these big differences from both the tier lists. Is that we've seen one from Zero who like has like Inkling, Crom, Pikachu like top 3, and then you look at someone who like Leffen who put up theirs, and I think he had like Falco as the best character. I think he had Pokemon Trainer up there as well, and it was just like a big difference from what we saw from Zero, who was primarily a Smash 4 player. So you would think he's kind of like more suited to like give out this information because it's just like the next generation of the game. It's kind of slightly similar. Granted, it does have its differences. And then you coming from someone like Leffen, who's primarily a melee player and a Dragon Ball Fighters player, and him giving out his own tier list and the vast differences that you see between both these people and their opinions on the characters. So like,
yeah, there's
again-
differences. There's definitely differences. Like in their
like
tier
what you
lists.
see here, like they got Mewtwo like up here, like Falco's up there. I think Peach and Daisy like they've been like thrown around, to see who else is like really good. Same thing with Shulk. Shulk like also a character that you don't really like think that like this character like has like options and whatnot. But that's just kind of how it is. It is still early game. Granted, it's been 2 weeks official release and an extra 2 weeks, I guess you could say, quote unquote pre-release and whatnot. So just roughly a month that we've had our hands on this game to really, dictate an actual true tier list. But as time goes on, we're gonna have a more solidified opinion on this and shit. Just as the months go by and the meta develops, and we actually figure out a more appropriate tier list.
Well, and
that we
I
can
just-
roll out to people.
I was just gonna say, I just feel like people like also like, I do appreciate like the early like placings of these tier lists, but like, I still like what Mezzy said. I'm just taking everything with a bit of a grain of salt because I feel like not just the top players, but people in general try just like way too hard to like submit things as facts. Like, I mean, obviously, like Inklings are good, water's wet, like the sky's blue. Like, there's just certain things that obviously just like shine brighter than others on paper.
That
But
Yeah.
like people being like, "Oh, X player is like the best player in Ultimate right now," I'm just like, dude, the game's been out for a week.
For like a
Or
week, yeah.
or
Jesus
something
for-
like Luigi is the best character in the game because
Yeah.
it's like, brother, like stop. I
Yeah,
don't want to see
like-
it. Like
Yesterday in the Spectrum chat, like people were saying some like outlandish stuff about like seeding players and like opinions of certain players, and I'm just like, you guys have like no ground to say these things. The game has literally been out for a week and you don't know it.
and
like,
so
can we please take that back.
I
and
feel like
remember.
go ahead,
Go ahead.
Nezzy. No, I was
Okay, I
gonna.
remember in the chat yesterday for Spectrum, I think someone asked something like, "What is the disparage between like New Jersey's skill levels?" Like,
Oh, I saw that.
is it just James and Wishes? And I'm sitting here like, it's been 10 days. Like, what are you?
That's what I mean, man.
What are you asking? Like, how you can't make comments about New Jersey skill level after 10 days?
I
There are
think
people
James should be.
There are people in New Jersey that haven't even entered tournaments yet. Like,
Basically, yeah. I mean, well, I think it was mainly because all the like this stuff they put out on Twitter. So like people just kind of like just gotta felt that like wow, these guys are like figuring this stuff out like this early on. Like game wasn't even officially out yet, but they have all this tech already developed for their characters, and they did show it off at early tournaments. But then like you look at, I think it was like the first Spectrum Weekly. We had a breakout performance from someone who relatively didn't have breakout performances in Lemon Tea. Like in Smash 4, he was like he was a good player. Don't get me wrong, but
He never really like broke through to that
he
level.
never, yeah, exactly. He was just always like there, like in a sense, like just like he was like a little gatekeeper and whatnot, right? That was like the most that he was a majority of his Smash 4, quote unquote career. But like now, like you see him here, like at the first Spectrum, he played, like amazing. He got like second place, like only to Justin, to Wishes and whatnot. He had beaten Gons that tournament twice, and like his results are just, in a sense, they're pretty consistent. Even now, like he's playing right now at the break, and like we'll see how he does well today. And like I know yesterday wasn't his best performance. Unfortunately, he did run into me, and it was really close. Nonetheless, man, like again, like it was something that like I wasn't like prepared for. I'm like, wow, okay, like like if there was no gas, like Lemon Tea is really good. So and I'm happy to see that, because they were such in a stalemate for such a long time, and then now we see the actual growth with the new game, and like now they're gonna be somebody that we have to worry about, because these guys are good, and I can't wait to see more from these guys, like Lemon Tea, also like Jet as well. He's been putting in some numbers with when Cinnamoroy, he played really well at Bears last week. So all these new people, and I guess you can say middle rankings from what we had in our scene, who are performing well now with this new game. So I'm excited to see them grow even more.
Well, yeah, and we're going to see a lot more people. And I think somewhere in here, getting back on track to the actual like boom of players and all of the new faces we've been seeing is like there's. So we're familiar with the Smash 4 entities, the players from Smash 4, and like even the question that was in the Spectrum chat, basically like, oh, like who's the best New Jersey player right now? Oh, can't say. Like, well, the familiar names are definitely out there.
Yeah.
And they're initially just like they're all used to like competing by now. You know what I mean? Like we've been watching these guys enter tournaments and even play each other for like the past 4 years.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, so now we're basically gonna expand on that. Skill gaps will basically start to close. Yeah, I don't know. This whole first season is gonna be a wild ride. I actually Oh, here we go. This is what I wanted to get at. So with the local boom, there has been a very big emphasis on basically being the first into things, or being the first to do this, first to do that. And it does definitely put a lot of like pressure out, not even just for players, but even like casters or streamers or like everyone. You know what I mean? Everyone wants to be first and recognizable. And I think that has sort of I want to know your guys' opinion. Do you think that affects the initial boom now, or do you think like this is here to stay? Do you think like this is the baseline for us, or do you think like it eventually just sort of like goes back a little bit when everyone's just kind of like, oh, well, all of that initial breakout stuff is spoken for? You know what I mean? Like I already concede the James being the best player in the state. Like when does that settle in, or has it settled in already?
So my stance on this is a couple things. Number one, I think the players that you've heard of are still going to be like very good, contrary to what some people say. Like some people just have, like I said, a lot of people just look at things in a vacuum, in my opinion. Like there's people that like very closely follow the scene, and then there's people that only really follow their local scene, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not everybody has the drive or wherewithal to really like care about watching other stuff. It's like watching baseball. Like sometimes you watch everything, sometimes you care about your regional team. It's fine. But I feel like, certain players have definitely shown that they're better than others. Obviously, James has, won a handful of tournaments. Like outside of before yesterday, neither him nor Justin had lost a set at all in the tournaments they've entered. So it's very clear that they have like, the edge right now. But that doesn't surprise me because they're both really good.
Yeah.
I just still think it's way too early to write this stuff out because, as like you said, Chris, this whole like first month is just like collecting data, and obviously I feel like the boom is just going to increase because between that first official season, well, I guess Let's Make Moves technically does count. We had this huge boom of locals, and you'd think it would slow down, but we have a huge regional tournament coming up in
Let's Make Moves.
in,
Yeah.
in
Call it
two
a regional
weeks.
At this point, man, like
Dude,
there's
it's a major.
It's
It
a
is-
major,
it is.
I would
yeah.
literally call it like our first major, and like that's something we haven't had in Jersey in a long time.
Yeah,
Like,
it just feels weird to say it because I'm just not used to like
This is like,
saying
holy,
yeah.
you guys got 500 entrants at Jersey
Bet.
We had to cap. Like,
Yeah,
we had to
there's a
actually
cap there.
Stop taking entrants.
at a Paris?
Yeah.
Question mark? Are we going
Yeah.
back to grassroots?
We still trying to play basketball in the church during top
I'm
32
with it,
though?
bro.
Yo,
I'm with it.
Word. Yeah, so like I feel like the boom's just gonna increase, and we'll see how it pans out when like the actual season-y stuff starts.
Well,
But
the fact remains too, now that break is officially starting for a lot of students who students are, that age group is probably the most common in like competitive Smash, like obviously because they have the time, resources, and etc. So we're gonna see that now with break coming up, like in this next month, like going into January. I would expect to see much more than there was even in the first couple weeks, just because people have time. Like you have people still finishing up finals, and event series haven't even started yet. Like I haven't done anything with MHG yet, and there's reasons for that, mostly because, I mean, I kind of wanted to collect data myself, and as nice as it is being the first in, the reality is there's a lot of prep involved for this stuff, and you'll see there's a little. I want to talk about some Burnout stuff a little later on, but like there's Ultimate's not going anywhere, man. Like there's a lot more future to this game.
That's
And-
why I kind of think that this is more of a baseline, and that this is just the beginning. Like this is initial interest.
Yeah,
game.
I think you're
And
right.
Once everything starts to get settled, it'll be like we need to be able to handle more than this.
So,
Like,
and that's the thing is because like the ranking seasons, at least for New Jersey in particular, are starting essentially with Let's Make Moves, which is the 29th of December. So basically January. And then like the first actual planned out official monthly is going to be Platinum Star in the beginning of January. And I think from there, between break and everything else, like we're going to be seeing tournaments hit 100 people plus probably, which does raise some concerns because as we were talking about earlier, within the boom are really late schedules that are happening, like tournaments getting out at like 1:30, which won't be bad during break, but that's definitely not like a sustainable thing moving forward. So,
I mean,
Even during break, because there are people like who do have like 9 to 5 jobs.
yeah, trust me.
I am so tired.
yeah,
I'm saying.
I got 4 hours of sleep last night.
For real.
yeah, I was gonna say this probably hurts weeklies a lot. But
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's able for monthlies. They just have to adjust. Their
So
sleep time.
so then there it is. So I think it is as simple as timing. Start your events earlier. Actually, while we're on the topic, I guess like doubles. What do you guys think of the future of doubles? Do you think that it's going to be received the same as it was in Smash 4, where people just sort of are over it quick, or do you think that it hits the potential that it actually has to be like an interesting format to watch and worth the time spent on it? Because there's a lot of people that want to run doubles, but the schedule's already running late. Like, is it a thing? Like,
I think it'll be the same.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah,
I
probably.
mean, especially like around here with us and whatnot, because we're relatively not a state that like favors doubles.
it's true.
Unfortunately.
If anything, I see like Squad Strike as becoming like the secondary like thing that everyone wants to do. And
Yeah,
doubles
I
will
mean,
just
people
remain
are
with
definitely
the same interest.
yeah, people are definitely like gonna try that. I mean, it is the new game mode that we have been introduced to. I've tried it. I don't know if you guys have tried it, but it's actually really dope. Just it's like a little like a mini crew battle one. You can either choose between it actually being a crew battle S type thing where like you have one character and the second it loses, there's a brief pause, people get to relax for a bit, and then your next character and the next match starts up, or you literally you lose the stock with your character and your next character that you had in your list immediately just spawns in and you continue the match.
Yeah, that's
I don't
really
know
cool.
which format these tournaments are going to want to try to run, if they do want to run that as a side event or try to have that go over doubles. I think that's just something they're just gonna have to experiment with. But like nonetheless, it's an interesting game mode that we have. And I'm excited to see how these people are gonna try to implement it into their monthly tournaments or their weekly
If
tournaments.
you want to run side events at your weeklies, you need to start them early and you need to start them on time. If you don't show up on time, fuck off.
I'm saying
Yeah, timing at
Like,
this point that's it.
Like,
really
especially
early on, we made like a bunch of like excuses for people. We made exceptions for a bunch of people, especially people that we know is like, yeah, just hit us up on Twitter or Discord. We'll throw you in the back there. We'll delay your match. But like as of right now, we can't really do that. We're getting too many people popping up. We're already delayed as it is.
So
We
what do
don't
you
want-
guys think about entrance if they do grow to be too big, essentially requiring pre-registration and then capping events? Like, do you think those will be viable solutions? I'm almost
well,
thinking
Yes.
I feel
yeah.
probably.
For monthlies you have to. Like
I think it's going to be necessary. I really
like,
do.
For weeklies you might not want to do pre-reg because like it's a weekly, but for monthlies, like your venue can't hold that many people, and your monthlies are always going to have more people than the weeklies.
Well,
so
even the
that's when it
ones
becomes
even the monthlies that can handle it, like even just having pre-registration, like once you hit over a certain amount of entrants, like I'm just going to choose an arbitrary number, like let's just say as soon as you're hitting like 80, 90 entrants, seeding really does become a lot more important. And it does become something that really needs a lot more attention and like, people looking at it. So having a pre-registration required beforehand would take care of that part that would otherwise hold up like a bracket. Like instead of like having to figure out seating and seeing this person just walked in, where does that put them? Okay, now we got to adjust the seating. Like that whole time is eliminated. Like
if anything, what could happen is something that Rickles does a lot in Chicago is he says that for specific like monthlies or regionals, like a top 64 seed cannot sign up at the door, but like if you're not a top 64 seed, you can. Like it's something that like it's worked. Like it's allowed people to like sign up at the door if they really want to just play. But if you're a top 64 seed, it's like nah, you have to pre-reg.
I mean, I'm all for that. I just wonder how it'll work in practice, and I guess honestly it'll work however it works, and people are gonna have to adjust. But all I know,
you could always reduce it to like top 8, like something like that, to make it really practical. And then after that, it's like okay, top 8 seeds. After that, it's like not a big deal.
like, because I'm like,
depends on the number of people.
I'll be real, like I'm genuinely concerned. Like even for Platinum on January 5th, everyone's out of school and everyone wants to come. That event hits like let's just say over 100 people, and we're let's just say on a good day we do have like 16. Let's just say ideally we have 16 setups like Xeno did with their 100-man bracket. Like that, it's going to run late. You know what I mean?
The fire marshal does not care how lit your tournament is.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I think I have sort of been enjoying checking out how the weeklies have been running because I could still technically change rule sets for monthlies coming in January. You know what I mean? Like, and I probably will now that we're talking about it.
Yeah,
But
and that's why it's not always a good idea to be the first person in.
no,
Sometimes you need-
I mean it's not. I mean it kind of is. It is good to get that initial attention, but like I've even seen. Like, I know, like, poor Kelvin, for anyone who's unfamiliar with Kelvin, Spectrum Smash streamer, like, ended up in, like, the hospital last week after, like, a really long stream. Like, just, like, was already sort of
yeah.
sick.
Oh God.
And, like,
I
this
heard
is
about that.
this is actually, in part, why I have this little section on the overlay dedicated to Burnout. Because not only is it just a thing, like, that can happen if you're not getting enough sleep and you're putting a lot of time into something and you're just tired of it, but like even for like streamers and organizers, like running these events and seeing this amount of new people and having all the additional responsibilities that come with that is pretty taxing. And I don't know if you guys have seen recently someone that the Smash scene is very familiar with, Events to Compete, which is in Illinois. I guess is that nearish Chicago?
Yeah, he's Chicago.
Yeah. So I think
Illinois is Chicago's in Illinois, Chris.
no, I know it is, but like that doesn't mean that where Events to Compete is.
He's
Yeah.
talking about Joey.
Yeah, because like I just saw that he is basically going to be packing it up despite all the excitement over Ultimate and everything else. Here I'm looking for the tweet now, but basically, Events to Compete Joe has just announced his retirement, and Events to Compete's essentially not going to be running anymore, which is pretty sad, man, because if anyone recalls, Events to Compete does tournaments like Midwest Mayhem, which ironically is the tournament that put like James on the map initially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there are tournaments that are known, like very well received and are known pretty well at this point. There's been there's been a lot of them.
In circuits.
Yeah,
Circuits
they've been in circuits that, they've been included in a lot of cool stuff, but it just becomes not practical to a certain point. And without going through the entire twit longer, even though I'm looking for it, it's just basically, even if your events are successful, it's essentially hard to continue running them because of the shoestring budgets that events are typically on. So I guess my whole point in bringing this up is, with the increased work and with increased like everything around the scene, burnout becomes very potential for everyone. Players, organizers, streamers, everyone is very vulnerable to this. And I do think that there is some discussion, sort of proactive discussion, awareness discussion that can happen around this, because I don't know, this is important, because like for someone like myself who's been pretty close to burnout with some of this stuff, it's a big deal. It's really hard to prepare for something when you're feeling like burnt out, and it happens often. So at the start of a new game with a lot more attention, like that whole prospect becomes a little bit of a concern. Even as a player, man, like you're going to these tournaments and you're staying out late. Like it's just, if you're not getting sleep, you just can't focus as much. Like
I'm saying, bro, like literally, like we got work in the morning, man. Like me and whatchamacallit, me and Kyle, we have work in the morning, man. We work like 9 to 5. I know Mezzy does as well. Like it's just hard for us to like do these events and like come home at like 12:30 in the morning and like try to get some sleep, and we still have to wake up dumb early, because like I know it's not helping me out, man. Because like last night I went to sleep at like 2, and like I woke up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock to get ready for work. I fell asleep like 3 times at work because I was just so like burnt out. I was tired. I'm like, I want to keep competing in this game because like I enjoy it, right? And like that's been like a big issue, and like I wanted to enjoy this game. I want to keep competing in it, but it's hard to do that if I like the next day at work I'm just gonna be slumped on my desk, like drool coming out of my mouth and all that, just completely dead, and like just struggling to just make it throughout the day. It's not healthy.
Yeah,
No,
listen to your body. It's like your body will tell you if you're playing too much. Because like when I was like, before I had like a real person job and like responsibilities, like I would go to like 3-4 tournaments a week, and then I'd like get home at like 2 o'clock in the morning and sleep until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and like my body just felt like shit. And then getting a real job, like as much as I hate waking up in the morning, it did kind of save me from myself, because the path I was going down was just like I was just like going full degeneracy. And it's just like I can't.
It happens, man.
Yeah,
that's gonna be
keep
all.
doing this to myself.
It's gonna be all winter break for especially a lot of new players. Like a lot of new players are gonna experience this whole like, oh, let me just go to a tournament. I'll hang out with the homies. We'll go to this tournament, that tournament. We'll go to this one in a couple weeks. Like maybe this one's in New York, maybe this one's in Philly. And you're traveling around too, and it's a slide. Like, and then before you know it, you're at all these tournaments in this short amount of time, and you're not keeping up with your regular stuff, and it's.
You just gotta remember to be a human being, man. Like,
no, it's true.
I don't know about these other people, man.
Everyone needs exercise. Like, it's not about like the grind. The grind isn't going anywhere. Like,
I'm saying for real, like it's still gonna be there. Like, I don't know about these other people. I do enjoy, a nice nap.
Yeah.
Some time to sleep.
I would kill.
Wake up at a good time. Maybe make some breakfast. Before I go to work.
Yeah, I would kill to be like 16 with no responsibilities right now, just because I'd be like the best fucking player in the world, obviously.
Obviously.
But nope. Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm the best Richter in my driveway, and I'm the only house on my street. So.
oh my god.
but yeah, so I guess because especially, and I think this was brought up earlier, the weeklies, which you'll see some people even like during regular times of the year, like not during like a holiday break or something where you have a day off, people will go to multiple weeklies in 1 week. So if you're going to like more than one weekly and they're both ending like past midnight, and you have like at minimal half hour to an hour drive, like that does not, like it just doesn't fit, like it doesn't fit into like a balanced schedule.
Yeah, it's not good at all. I mean, I think like I might have to like refrain myself from like going to these locals to prevent, any like overexerted burnout. To, like just so I can get myself like prepared for like the bigger events that'll be like held over the weekend. That way I can just get myself prepared for it and not like burn myself out throughout the week trying to go to like the Monday locals or the Tuesday locals, whatever it may be.
And
Dude,
yes, speaking of which, big tournaments. There was a few this weekend. And I know I've been talking about this every week, where like I want to make tournament recap its own thing, and that's going to happen. But in the meantime, there's just been so many things happening. We were even talking earlier about how like Pelka was competing in two events, like two really big ones, like an online tournament and like Northeast Conference, which actually Gons won that one. But
Northeast Championship. not
yeah, I'm
conference.
sorry, not conference. I'm sorry. I'm thinking NCAA here. I'm sorry.
Body bag.
Yeah,
Fuck sports.
And then it is that time, bro.
yeah, dude. But
March Madness.
let's see. I know Corona, where'd you go this weekend? Did you go to?
I was
He
there.
was
I
at-
was
Were you
there.
you were at NEC, correct?
I
Yeah.
competed in Tekken 7 and in Smash Ultimate.
Yeah, tell
did
us.
both.
I mean, it looked like a cool tournament. What do you?
Bro, it was at a casino, my guy. Like that place was dope. It was great. I mean, like the reason why I love going to these events, and like I didn't mainly go because of the fact that it had Tekken 7 and it had Smash Ultimate. I did it because of the fact that when it comes to these events, it's like and for worse words, man, like it's a much more mature event. Like you got people who are there ready to compete, have a good time. Air quotes on that, if you know what I mean. And enjoy the weekend. And especially with these FGC events, I think what makes me happy is like I guess you can say like I'm a cross player and whatnot. Like I play Smash and regular FGCs. Is that these events have arcade cabinets for like throwback fighting games that I enjoy heavily. Like Marvel 2, Third Strike, CVS 2, etc. And like you can't really expect those type of things at like Smash majors, or if anything, they're really rare, or they have just like just like regular casual arcade games, which aren't bad, but like like going to these events, I do get like a full experience. There's like better vendors, there's good music. Like we literally had a DJ for the full event over the weekend. It was amazing. I had to get that guy's playlist because that shit was just too fire. Not to mention,
Nice.
like I said, like the event itself was held at the Valley Forge Casino. Like it's a casino, bro. Like,
I want to intervene. I just want to say that Gons won an event at the same event that Sonic Fox won an event.
Oh,
Let that sink
Whoa.
in.
does Gons even consider himself a furry anymore?
That's
Hundred-
not what I was alluding to, but it's just funny. I'm looking at the results and I see first place for Ultimate, the Great Gonzalez.
no,
First place for DBZ, Sonic Fox.
I'm gonna let a little bias come out here and say that I'm actually pretty proud of Gons for winning this tournament, because
Yeah,
Gons.
no, he really wanted that win, dude. Like,
Yeah, man.
and he told me too, cause like we played like first round out of top 32. He's like honestly, I'm like, what's up? He was like, I was scared of you the most. I'm like, why? He's like, cause you're not afraid to parry. All these other people are. I'm like, man,
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
and like we played like I lost 2-0, but like literally like all these games were like uber close. Like both last hits, and like I didn't like switch off. He wanted like he literally asked me, he's like, who are you gonna play? I'm like, I don't know. Like I can play like Snake, I can play like DK. He's like, go Ike. I'm like, whatever, fine, I'll play Ike. I played Ike the whole set, and like it was great. Like like it was literally my first tournament, right? Like at all, because I had never entered a Smash Ultimate tournament, since that day. That was the first time I entered, and I got 13th. I was pretty proud. It was more of an experimental tournament for myself, and I got to try out some stuff that I felt I was capable of doing, especially in doubles play. I ended up getting second in doubles with luck. And like I enjoyed the tournament, and like within that, like people ask me, like, so what do you think? And then like, are you gonna compete in this game more, or are you just gonna hold back and just play doubles, or just stick around? Like what, bro, like I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the time I had at the tournament. I'm definitely gonna give it a shot. Like the way I see fighting games and whatnot, or just competitive games, like for that matter, like I will give them all a chance, right? Like people think I'm just a Smash player. I'm not. I play all fighting games except Soul Calibur, but I'll give everything a shot. If I enjoy the game, I will play it. If not, then it's on to the next one. 'Cause, like time is precious. I'm not trying to waste my time in a game I don't enjoy.
Podcast police. This is not the Steven hour.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. I was asked about my experience.
To be fair, I did ask, but
Exactly. So back off,
Okay, because
Mizzy.
I had forgotten what had gotten us on.
No,
But-
yeah,
but-
yeah. Ask me my experience at NEC, but like overall, like no, that tournament was great. Like I left early Sunday just because like it's an hour and a half to like get back home, and like I didn't want to stay the whole thing so that I make top 8. But I did get to watch the ending top 8 as well. I know people were very disappointed in Smash Grand Finals. Like I saw that chat room, they were blowing up.
Well, it was it was Gons playing Simon against Pelka's
Pelka's,
Snake.
like campy Snake. Like it was. Oh my
and
god.
I know Gons plays a very very safe Belmont.
I mean, well, the thing is, like, Gons, I get because in a sense, that's how you like. Granted, it's still early on. I'm not the one to like make these type of like like opinions about how to play the Belmonts, but I feel like that's one way to be playing the Belmonts.
I think I think
Gons
that's
has been
optimal
exerting
play.
that play style. Yeah, Gons has been exerting that play style, and it works for him. He wins tournaments. He won NEC. He's won some locals here in Jersey. Like it works for him. So like it might be what the meta will be for the Belmont. Now
F-tilt, that's my shit.
that's my joint right there. But I don't think we were prepared to see the way Snake was played that Pelka showed off. Cause I know I wasn't. Cause like a lot of people who've been experienced with Snake, who have played him in Brawl or played him in the game that should not be named. We'll just call it Voldemort M, if we will. That like the people know how.
Melee?
Yeah, the pretend melee, right? Or fake melee HD, whatever you want to call it. But like, we weren't expecting that kind of gameplay from a Snake player,
Well,
from someone who's had experience in Brawl. Like, well, he didn't play Snake in Brawl, but he did play in the competitive scene for a while. So no doubt he's run into some Snakes, and he knows what that character does. And that's not something we were given or we expected to see at that tournament, at that grand
Wait,
final.
I heard Gon said that everyone was rooting for Pelka.
I had also heard that.
I heard that as well. I mean, I think it's just mainly because like Gons was like an outsider, but the same thing with Pelka. But Pelka had more supporters there than Gons did. Like, granted, it's Philly. How many people from Philly are gonna root for Gons? Like
the thing is like Gons is like almost like he's not the enemy role at all, or the villain role rather. Like not even close. But like I think like Gons is also does have like that association with him where he did used to win a lot in Smash 4, so a lot of the people that know him from Smash 4, and I noticed that there were quite a few Smash 4 players towards the top of the bracket of NEC. It's almost natural to be like, man, don't let Gons win.
Don't let Gons
win. Like I think that's like
really why
the
people
opinion.
rooted for Pelka, but like that was in person. But then if you look at Twitch chat, like granted, we all know Twitch chat is a dangerous and dark place in which you should not,
It's
dwell
not even
in
bad for Smash, but like yeah.
But the reason why it was
It's
even
just stupid.
because
It is.
the reason why it was so bad is because of the fact that it wasn't a Smash event. It was an FGC event. So
Yeah.
people from other games are witnessing this. This is a brand new game in their eyes, right? Something that they should be given a consideration to maybe playing or casting it or hosting it in their local regions and whatnot, right? But when they see this in grand finals, this is the grand finals that they see. They had to deal with it for 2 sets.
Yeah.
And they see that, the response was obviously going to be negative from them.
To be fair, like it's not like Pelka knew what to do against the character.
Right.
Of course, who does? It's early.
It says here he won in winners finals, so he was probably just doing what got him the win. Like if he doesn't know how to play against the Belmonts, he was probably playing in a way that is like, I can just sit here and observe what you're doing so I can understand how to win. Didn't work.
It's funny how that worked out too, because in the winners finals, and I have found out about this later, about the difference between the Belmonts. That like in winners finals, Gons had played Richter, and in grand finals, Gons had played Simon. The reason why this is important is because Simon's fire actually just like neutralizes the grenades.
Yeah, it's like it's calculated as fire.
As
whereas
fire,
Richter's
as opposed, it's just like energy.
Interesting. I did not know
Richter's
So
Richter's zombies and aura.
Simon just blows up everything that
touches
Snake
his
throws
path
at him.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Richter blows up blue Pikmin.
Yeah, that was literally like the big difference in one. So he found that out, and then that's why he was playing Simon then, and that's why he's playing Simon now. He hasn't touched Victor, mainly because of the fact that just the fire from Simon. My bad, excuse me. Like just literally just worked better, as first Snake and maybe possibly some other character we don't know yet. We're still like, experimenting and whatnot. Over Richter. He lost that winners finals because he tried, use Richter. He was told about it, about like the difference, what it could do for him playing Simon over Richter in the Snake matchup. And he did it and it worked. It won him the 2 sets. Granted, it was very ugly, but it won him that tournament. And that's what he's been using, like ever since. Like I haven't seen him play Richter at all. Everything's been all Simon.
Well, and I will say, I guess speaking of we were just talking about Pelka Snake. We did see what would otherwise probably be more calculated Snake gameplay with, I guess, debatably the biggest tournament of the week, which was Don't Park on the Grass. Is that fair to say?
Yeah,
I mean, that and the Invitational.
That and the Invitational, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which
at the Invitational, I don't think anybody there played Snake.
No.
No.
We're just talking about
in general
biggest tournaments of the week is.
Yeah, because
and high percent also.
I mean, it was an online tournament, but yeah, I don't even know. Actually, let me get the bracket for that because I know Don't Park on the Grass. Yeah, I mean MVD won, ESAM second place with Pikachu, and then high percent. Actually, we did see for any locals around here, Action John, a New Jersey native, ended up in top 8. I think fifth, which is pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because that tournament had almost 1,200 people, or no, was it more than that? It was like
1,600.
1,600. Yeah, which is pretty crazy.
For real.
And then yeah, so this is the bracket we were talking about where Pelka got fifth.
Elimination.
Yeah, Pelka was fifth here, single elimination, and he had gotten second at NEC, and then I'm pretty sure the rest of these guys were probably just focused on this tournament. But this was kind of a neat idea, and I know the idea was the winner gets to go to Genesis, the next Genesis, correct? And then I don't know, is there a compendium for the rest of the guys or something like that?
I think, right? I remember John asking us about this to vote for him to be sent out to for Genesis coming up in this coming January or whatnot. And at first I didn't know what it was, but then after looking into it, it's an actual compendium for him to get there. We just have to put in his name, vote for him, and possibly he gets there. It would be pretty dope because John's a good friend of all of ours. I think I could say, right? We all know Action John. He's a very nice person. He's super dope to the entire scene. Like, I don't think I've ever seen him, in any negative way whatsoever. He's just a positive person. And, he just wants to, go to this tournament. If we can just, put his name out there, that'd be great. I know he would enjoy, love it if he was able to get out there. I know I would. So, the more we find out about this whole compendium thing, the more we'll be able, to help him out. So that'd be pretty dope to see him there.
It is cool. And this is where the locals get to be pretty important because even now, Rick he gave us this link to where is this tournament? Yeah, in St. Louis, where another up and coming Smash 4 player towards the end of the game just won, I guess, his first Ultimate tournament. I think it's his first Ultimate tournament, but either way, as Mega Man, who has been kind of considered bad in this iteration of the game, and Toon Link still coming in first at this tournament was called Smash Out. I'm getting the results on the screen now. But it is interesting to see, man. And this tournament had 357 people.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. So speaking of initial booms, that's insane in the St. Louis area.
That's actually the population of the entire state of Missouri.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So in either case, another case of a late blooming Smash player carrying over in the Ultimate, but man, that's actually pretty nuts. I didn't realize there was a lot of big tournaments this weekend because that's at 357, and then obviously the online tournaments at 16, which yeah, it's online, but still that's a lot of people. NEC, how many people did NEC have?
I think I had 130.
130.
Yeah, but it had a pop bonus.
And then
with the $500 pop bonus.
What was and then Don't Park on the Grass. I gotta just look for.
Was it 800 something?
Jeez, man, that's a lot of people.
It says here. Well, I don't know if this is for Smash or not because I see attendees, but there's multiple games.
Dude, that's a lot of people playing Smash over the weekends.
Let me see.
Yeah, because Don't Park on the Grass.
581.
Yeah, 581. I just saw that. Dude, that's thousands of people playing over the weekend. Like if you include the online tournament.
Yeah, at all different places. Yeah.
This is fucking nutty, man.
Yeah, that's insane. Like it's even hard to do a tournament recap in like a podcast that I try to keep on the shorter end, which is why I want to make it its own thing. And for any of you guys who really do enjoy tournament breakdowns, I know Hazmat does a regular tournament breakdown. I think he do it on Mondays maybe.
Mondays, yeah.
Yeah.
Stock exchange.
Stock exchange, yeah,
Which I am now a correspondent.
Ooh, very nice.
Podcast
Yeah.
City.
Yeah, man.
Chill, baby.
Nah, man. I mean, I think we're planning on doing some stuff with Haz in the future with some recap stuff. But yeah, if you want to see full breakdowns, that's on twitch.tv/Hazmat Live. But as I digress, yeah, this past weekend was a lot of stuff, and locally, the stuff that we usually cover does include some more wins for the likes of Shoyo James at Codename Bears and Wishes.
Wish 7S.
Who did
Won
just win
Xeno
Spectrum
Saga.
yesterday?
He also won Xenosaga.
He did win Xenosaga. You're correct, and that was just this past Saturday, which is the Xeno Monthly for anyone not in the know.
Yeah, and then we have another break going on at this current moment. Ain't on the break. They're actually sparking some entrance for once in a while. I mean, granted, it is a new game. They have about I think like 27, 28 people right now. And I was looking at the bracket right now, and right now Shoyo James is at Witter's semis. He's got to play Tokyo, and Gons is playing Blue right now. So we'll see how this tournament goes. James and Gons, obviously two heavy hitters. Blue, he's making his return to the Smash scene. Granted he was mainly a TO and an event organizer for Spectrum Smash. He was a big help with them. And
My
now
man-
we're seeing him back in tournaments.
My man beat Bea with Pichu. Blessed.
Yeah,
Here's some speculation. How many tournaments is Wishes going to win in a row before it stops?
ooh,
Ooh. Well, considering that there isn't another Spectrum for the rest of the year.
yeah.
That's the next.
Well, there's
I mean,
Prism.
we have
There's
it.
Prism.
There's
We have
Prism.
Prism this Saturday, and then like Bears again this Friday. So I guess that's what we're gonna see happen because I don't think he's gonna be doing anything. Next
I mean,
coming
no
games.
pressure. Like I know
Obviously.
Justin has a good mentality with this game especially. Like
Yeah.
I gotta say, man, I'm very impressed with
Very.
Justin overall. Like going into this game.
I mean, like he got a lot
Like
of
his,
hate.
he
but,
got well. I think that a lot of it had to do with like all that competitive time he put into Fortnite. Like there was,
I agree.
There was such a turnaround in terms of like his his ability to stay calm.
I agree completely.
Yeah,
It's a different mindset, like completely.
So does that mean that Justin is gonna sue Fortnite for his likeness also?
I
Probably.
think they already tried.
If I see him win a tournament, he does a freaking default dance. I'm probably just gonna just like
Get
Drop-
used to that, man. You're gonna be seeing a lot of Fortnite dances in the
Come
future
on.
on stages.
Break.
So
Oh,
I just hope you know.
I don't want to think about that, bro. Come on, please.
I'm sorry,
Get him
hey
off
man.
the
I
stage.
can only drop kick so many people in a
I
lifetime,
know.
bro.
Hey man, if they play so in a tournament, you have to watch them dance. It's the way
Yeah.
it goes.
They can't let me win, man. They let me win a big tournament. I'm Millie rocking off stage, bro.
So hey, someone tell me about the SkyWilliams Invitational because I did not watch a lot of that. I was watching a lot of the other tournaments going on, but
I
I
believe
know it was,
Crom is broken.
that was
Crown
Tweak,
is broken.
Tweak, correct?
Tweak win.
Yeah.
Grand finals was, I believe, between Tweak and a Cosmos.
The
Right?
Buzz.
The Buzz. Fuck.
Who's the buzz playing in this game? I actually haven't even paid
Palutena
attention.
and Olimar.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that was a
Interesting.
dumb question on my part.
Yeah, you knew Omar was going to be a thing. I guess Palutena is not all too surprising.
That's a character.
Palutena is a character. Like,
Yeah,
that's
she's
that's-
good now.
Kind of a dude, bro. She's really
Yo,
good.
man, we stand Kid Icarus Uprising in this house. Let's fucking
We
go.
also
I
had
hear that.
almost the entirety of the loft was playing Inkling. Like that was a thing.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, that's
So we had Cosmos
That's
Inkling.
leading the charge is Cosmos.
That's
I-
literally what I had to
I
deal with my
let me
entire
check-
time in there.
Let me check the bracket because I believe Larry beat literally everyone from the loft. Oh no, Cosmos beat Larry. Larry beat the cat. Because what Larry was doing, he went Falco like against everyone for the first game, and then he switched to Fox,
The fuck,
and
man.
that did not work out well for him.
How big was the invitational bracket? How did they
was eight-
structure it?
It was just 8 people.
Just
no
8 people?
elimination.
Okay.
But Sky put like 15,000 in the freaking pot.
Whoa,
like,
man. What the heck?
Yeah, Sky has 15,000 in the
Sky
ashtray
has
in his
15
car.
Yeah, he
Whew.
literally found it in the back of his car. Like,
Was
Nuts.
that real? I thought he was just.
no, there was money. There was 100% money in that. Like literally, last place got more money foregoing than they put into. The Sky
Damn.
flew them all out. So last place literally got enough money to be like, this was worth it.
I wish he had a little bit more awareness and didn't schedule the same weekend as Don't Park on the Grass, because that was a big
Well,
controversy
no, he hosted
that happened over the weekend.
He hosted it literally right after.
Right. Yeah, I'm glad they were able to find a compromise, but like that was still like a shitty situation that had to be dealt.
And whatnot, there's
Well,
no problem with, like, rescheduling.
To
tournament,
be
but-
fair, I
So,
don't think
yeah.
Don't Park on the Grass really suffered any real consequences to that. It was
No.
already like a really big tournament, and it already had a ton of attention on it.
But the reason why I bring this up because the situation going on here in Jersey and New York.
Yeah,
like,
this
Prism
is
announced-
normal. This is it.
This is it because like literally Prism was announced like about 2 weeks ago, right? Saying that, hey, look, we're gonna have this tournament here on the 22nd, and then like a few days later, Max Ketchum's tweets is like, make sure you guys have the 22nd off and free, and they were like, well, what about Prism? Or is he talking about Prism? Maybe he is talking about Prism. But then a few days after that tweet, he just announces this tournament that's being held in New York that's gonna have a player cap at like 96 people, right?
I
Something
think
like
it
that.
already capped, by the way. I'm pretty,
Yeah,
pretty
it-
sure.
There's a decent sized pop
Here's
bonus.
here's
Well,
my
I mean-
here's my thought on that. And I'm sorry, Zone. I don't mean to cut you off, but this is I feel pretty strongly about this. So I would say I don't know. Have all the details been released for that tournament? Like does everyone know what it is, and like is that a thing yet?
Honestly, I have no idea.
You
All I
know,
know is that
when it
there's a
comes to
tournament happening in
Max,
New York.
it's like
I don't want to say anything, but in either case, all I'm gonna say is like an event like this is something like just due to the organizers and people involved is it brings in new people, new players who are maybe it's their first tournament. Who knows? Maybe they didn't hear about really many Smash tournaments outside of this. Maybe they follow like another esport that the organizers are doing, and so that 96 people, like as many people as 96 people are. Like that used to be a big number for Smash 4 with the player base, but now like we just had a weekend with like couple like 2,000-3,000 people playing like competitively over the span of like a day or two. I just don't think it's that big of an impact because like that 96 people is probably newer players, maybe a few guys from New York, but in reality, the same crowd that would otherwise be found in Central Jersey for a monthly. I'm pretty sure that's what Prism is going to be.
and Philly.
Yeah, like you're gonna get Philly, you're gonna get New Jersey, and then
And you're gonna get
you're still gonna get New
some
York.
New York.
You
Yeah,
will get
so,
some
like,
New York still. Like so, I don't think like I think it's plenty reasonable to think that like they'll have at least 60, 70 entrants at Prism, despite the big amount of entrants at the other Smash event, which may not even have people that would have went to Prism anyways. So like it's just kind of one of those things where it's just growing.
Well, like looking at it now, because I just pulled up the attendee list and whatnot for the people who are going to be entering Smash Ultimate, not just Melee, just Ultimate. There's a bunch of New York locals that are going to be there. The Buzz, obviously, the Kill Stage.
Do you have that bracket?
I literally just pulled it up right now here. I
Yeah,
can
but
Yeah,
to be
if
fair,
link
like,
me.
It's more so going on what Chris says. If they don't intersect with like people that come to New Jersey regularly, then it's not really that different.
It's
mean,
just
I
it's
know,
just
like,
more
I
people
know-
playing, man. That's the way I look at it.
James himself has signed up for that. Angel Cortez has signed up for that.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of names on this. I guess.
Wait, how big is the pot bonus?
Okay, so this is obviously public knowledge, and I didn't know how much. Okay, so yeah, this is New York Excelsior, or I'm sorry, New York Excel, and that's basically like for anyone unfamiliar, they're a very big New York team. They have a huge
Yeah,
they have an
Oh,
Overwatch
and this-
team
Okay,
that
then
is
this
very
is
well
just-
known.
This
like-
is just straight up. I need to win this. Like,
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is like
And
one of those monthlies that or not monthlies. I have no idea what this event is going to be, but
Like I see like I guess you can't really say like notable names for New Jersey, but there are like a few of our local heads that are going there, as well as obviously the New York heads, Bars of Journey, Cassius, all those guys are like definitely going there. So like I brought this up before too. I forgot who else.
wait, Tweak?
yeah, Tweak.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
right.
Yeah,
because
dude.
Oh no, Tweak's probably just here for the week.
Oh,
So then-
probably.
Yeah. So then
Oh wow,
he's just
dude,
entering.
Swedish Delight. Has
This-
he
this
entered
thing-
anything yet? Or is
This
this?
makes
Right
this
now I have
this
no
makes
idea.
sense then, because if this is just a tournament that is like, I need to win this for business.
Yes, this
like
is a business tournament. That is a very good
yeah.
way to put it. Because yeah, New York Excel, like they're a very big brand in esports, man. Like that's for people looking at esports as the business that it is. Like this is business.
Yeah, then
A lot
at
of
that
money
at
floating
that
around
at
this
that point
tournament.
you can't, because like with Max, it's like he needed a weekend. It's like what you could do it the week after Let's Make Moves, but there's probably something that he saw there. He's like,
That was that's a Platinum Star monthly.
I don't want to. Yeah, he's like, I don't want to intersect with that. But he probably just didn't know anything on the 22nd, and he was like, okay,
So
put this tournament
I
in New
mean,
York.
yeah, it's unfortunate, but some like I guess you can say like sacrifice had to be made. This is a big business opportunity, like for
Yeah.
Max, for him to like have this. And,
Yeah.
especially with the
Well,
heads that are
well,
gonna
just-
be there,
Like what? It's also possible that they gave him a date and he just had to rock with it.
Yeah,
that's
probably
that's
something
also
that
that
could
is that is very possible.
And in his eyes, he's like, this is a huge opportunity. I can't say no. Like, so
Yeah,
it's
I
not
mean,
always.
it makes
It's not
sense.
always like, oh man, Prism. Like sometimes it's just business.
So that's the
Yep.
reality. Is just because you host tournaments, and like this is something I've sort of learned over my time doing tournaments, and like it really is no hard feelings. It's like just because you run tournaments, and just because like you schedule something doesn't necessarily mean people have to quote unquote respect it. It's just like you run a good tournament, and people are going to show up, and that's sort of the thing. In this particular case, geographically, it's not like they're set up right down the street from one another. Yeah, some of those New York guys may have gone to Prism, but guess what? Like from what I could see in the bracket, there's plenty of New York guys that come out regularly who I did not see in that bracket. You know what I mean? And plenty of names that I've never seen before at all. So yeah, man, I'm really of that mindset where more power to everyone. Like
Yo,
just
Pelka is a fiend. He's in this bracket. Like he's actually a fiend. How, like that's well, it's not that I just didn't expect it. Like Pelka's
where is he coming from? Where is
Massachusetts.
Yeah, he's from Mass.
Oh my God!
He's literally coming down here every week.
Wow, yeah, this guy's a
out here
fiend.
trying to grind,
I didn't
bro.
mean to interrupt.
No,
but, like, I
that's-
just saw
that's-
Pelka's name and I was like, this man is a fiend. Like
Man, it's out here
Drugs,
grinding,
baby.
bro.
respect it.
Yeah, man, he's
Literal drugs.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'm all for, especially at this point when we're getting a lot of people exposed to their first Ultimate tournaments. Just host the tournaments, man. Like the structure will figure itself out. I know I could only really speak for New Jersey, but just the way the schedule is being handled now, people are actually working together and sort of scheduling things, and I kind of think that within that could expand to other like regions. So like let's just say you have a staple monthly in New Jersey, you could still have a staple monthly in like Connecticut the same day because they're just like not close, you know. So
Yeah.
it's just I don't know. There's gonna be a lot of this opinion. I don't think really matches a lot of other people's. I think a lot of people like to kind of keep this. They try to keep it more contained than I think it needs to be because I don't see a reason to really restrict anything at this point. Like what's meant to survive and what's good enough to survive will just survive. Like, and
But
that's
still,
just it.
the fire code's there for a reason, though. Just
Oh,
keep
oh
that in
yeah,
mind.
totally. But that's why you have more than one tournament
Yeah.
on one day, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, shoutouts. It's funny because we mentioned how many tournaments Pelka's gone to since the game came out, but New England as a region has had 15 tournaments in 10 days also.
Dude,
So,
New
like,
England has been going in.
It's fucking crazy, man. That region is literally cooking.
It's funny because like,
Like, we're-
I've been so standoffish to start anything here, and I'm like, I'll just let the weeklies play out after Let's Make Moves and everything counts. So like I'm pushing really hard now, but in terms of like actually having an event, like yeah, man, everyone's got different opinions on the best way to be. I mean, being first out is still good, like having a lot of things off the bat. Plenty of sample sizes for things, that's for sure, between schedules and all that kind of stuff. But we are getting towards the end here. I don't know. What are you guys thinking before we close out?
Oh man, this first like month and a half was gonna be so rough, man. I think like the big burnout is probably like very important to talk about.
Well, yeah,
It's-
I think like I brought that up for a reason. I don't think anyone's even thinking about it, but like burnout is a very real thing, and it comes up on you at the least convenient time. Like it's never a good time to burn out.
Yeah. My thoughts on that are like the game's not going anywhere. It's very clear that the game has legs, plenty of legs to stand on. Like you don't have to blow your
76 pairs of legs
Yeah, for real.
on the roster.
yeah. We're talking like the entirety of Eight-Legged Freaks.
For real.
That movie's awful, by the way, but
It's bad. That's really throwback. Wow.
yeah, that's like I don't know why I said that, but anyway, like just don't go crazy and blow your load in like the first like 2 months. Like your time's gonna come. I remember overhearing a conversation where like just people being like, yeah, like I'm ready to grind Ultimate. I'm trying to play 10 hours a day, no sleep, only leave my room to pee. I don't want to say hi to my mom. It's just like, yo, just take it easy. Like there's still plenty of time to, get your competitive legs. I know there's that fear. There's always the FOMO, like when stuff comes like this, the fear of missing out. But like, oh God, are we gonna get copyright strikes? Oh no,
dude! If I get copyright struck for like a David Arquette movie from the '90s, I won't care.
Oh man, yeah, but just pace yourself. Let your body, if your body's telling you something, listen to it. And Let's Make Moves is going to be a lot of fun. So we can probably talk about that next week. They do a big old preview thing.
I mean, hey, we also gonna have to talk about Prism because that's
Prism prequel, yeah.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be lit.
Yeah, no shortage of events, and then we got Big Daddy monthly coming at the end of January. I'm pretty excited to get going with that. But
the one for RJ.
Yeah.
The new esports arena in New
Yeah,
Jersey.
that's split down the middle of that's RJ and MHG running that whole thing, which is gonna be pretty cool.
Master Hand RJ.
or Collision Chris ZX or something. But anyways, no, it's really cool, man. I'm very excited to get that tournament going. There's a lot of like really good things that can come of that. That place is enormous, by the way. Like, so I was there just last week, and there is essentially like their main room that has they have 110 PC stations, like nice ones, like full on 110 PCs with like DX racers and everything else, like just like rooms of them. And then they have like an upstairs, which is like a ballroom, and then just like a little place across the street, like not even across the street, across like a little pathway that fits like it's like a whole nother tournament room in itself. It's kind of nuts. So
God,
yeah, it's something.
I just want one DX racer, and these people have a room of DX racers.
It's so new. It smells new in there. You'll see the chairs, like the floor is so smooth and like new. Like you walk by them, and like the breeze of air that comes from like your trail moves the chair. It's amazing. That's in North Bergen, by the way.
I got some more Tristate news for you guys. I'm
that's
moving
right.
to New York in January. So
Shit.
welcome home, Zone.
Welcome home, Zone, dude. That is actually very exciting for anyone who is unfamiliar with Zone. Zone puts on a good show, man. As far as playing goes, I don't know. Are you planning on competing or?
It's Cineroar.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Of course, I have to play the showstopper.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be competing. I'm gonna, like I said, like the grind isn't going anywhere. Right now, I'm looking into seeing a orthopedic surgeon just for the
hands.
Yeah, the hands are acting up. So I'm chilling. I'm practicing. But
Good.
The grind's, like I said, the grind's not going anywhere. So I'll get
No, man, it's really not. And we've even seen so many people get good at Smash 4 at the end, despite people not caring about it. Like the skill levels are real. Like you can get good at any point. Like that's the truth.
Yeah.
It's a brand new game, man. And, like we're only 1 month in, so like you have nothing but time. So like there's no really rush to like get into it. If you don't see results right away, man, like don't let it bother you. It happens.
Yeah, that's true, man.
I went 0-2 yesterday. Played 2 characters I've never played against in my life. Did not know a damn thing about what I was doing.
Which characters? Just curious.
I lost to Zero Suit and Zero Suit with clothes on.
Ah, man. Double eliminated by Samus.
Yeah. 2018 is weird.
Why'd you gotta make it weird, bro?
Yo, man. I don't know. It's just the way I is. So yeah, support your locals. It's not like they need it though. Yeah.
As of right now, hell,
Not at all.
A second thought, stay home. Fuck your locals.
bro.
Too
That's
funny.
probably what I'm gonna have to start doing then.
If I commentate one more grand finals that ends in a reset, I'm just quitting forever.
I don't
Like
know. I
find
think
me a commentator that's commentated more Smash Ultimate than me, and I've gone to 3 tournaments.
yeah, dude, you're first in.
My hair is gray, Chris.
Mine's not. I'm just getting started, which is good because I was pretty burnt out after like Smash 4, and I feel like the past couple weeks I'm like, you know what? I'll be excited time come January. Be able to play a little bit, get myself into it. Although I have actually been playing. There's been a lot of prep for Let's Make Moves, though. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a lot of prep work for that.
It's
I'm
gonna
a-
be fun.
Be fairly upset if Max doesn't let me and Steve team.
Yeah, because you know what? I was literally once you messaged me about that, I went through my emails and I didn't see anything from Smash GG regarding Let's Make Moves or from Max Ketchum himself. So like I have no idea what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it'll be a fun event regardless. But I'm trying to start the double. Well, not start the doubles meta. I want to play doubles. Like I haven't actually played doubles in this game yet, but like
I enjoyed it.
dou-
Like
yeah.
there's some people who don't like it, but like when I played doubles like over the weekend with Luck, dude, that shit was sorry. That was mad fun. Like I enjoyed myself heavily, dude. And because like there were like so many like good moments. Like the losers final set that I had against like Gons and West, it was hilarious because like there was a moment in which West tried to do like a landing back air on my shield and I parried it and I killed him for it. And at the end of the set, he like Gons just like walked away just because he was like disappointed about like how it ended and whatnot. But then West just like stood up, 6WX my bad, 6WX like stood up and just looked at me for like 5 seconds, and he was just like, "You parried everything." And he just walked away.
Are you a man or a machine?
He's
Yeah.
like, "You parried everything." I'm like, bro, man, like I'm not afraid to, explore those options that we've been giving everybody else.
Yeah, there are some people like I know we're sidetracking. We're trying to get on the out, but it's a new game. Like there are a lot of people I've been seeing that say that parrying needs to be buffed.
I saw
because
that.
It's too risky.
Yeah, I saw
And
that.
I'm like, come
what?
on,
Like,
like,
yo, that's how I know.
Week
That's
2, you can't start parrying. Get good.
I hope every single person that says that gets coal for Christmas.
for real. Cause like when I saw that, I'm like, y'all just a bunch of. I can't say that here. I can't say that here, but you guys know what I want to say. But like, I just can't. But like, I saw that, I'm like, damn.
We'll censor it out in post with
Like
the
even watching like games and like people who like are just like too afraid to like go for those options, like that pisses me off. Like I see that. Even watching it like now today, watching this local or watching it yesterday at the tournament, I'm like, you guys are just, oh my god, grow a pair. Like try to parry something. Like please, like you can get so much off it, or you can literally just get rid of all this fake pressure that someone's trying to shark you on a platform. Like people like the thing in this game is that like shield grabbing has like just been proven to just be like almost non-functional, not worth to try to go for because of how like like lag it can be to like try to shield grab, and that aerials have less lag, and it just isn't worth it. So like you're given this new option that's called parrying. Go for it. Stop being a punk. And if you get it, you'll see the reward that it can give you. Like someone tried to shark you, you parry it. If your arrow is fast enough, you can drop from the platform and press a button, or you just get yourself out of that pressure that this guy's just spamming you with. Or if like someone tries to do an obvious aerial, like for instance, I see some of these Ike players who just like completely like simple, and they're just doing like full hop and then landing. I literally just talked about Chris this before the stream started. Like he was doing full hop, landing down with an aerial. I'm like, and this guy's just blocking it, just holding shield. I'm like, bro, you're playing Snake, parry it. You can up tilt his soul, and he's dead. Like, stop being a punk, please. Like, the option's there. Explore it. Like, I grant it's a new game, but you're playing the wrong game. You're playing Smash 4 and Smash Ultimate, and it's not healthy for your mindset because you let this take over you, then you're never gonna get results. You're just gonna completely playing like doo-doo for like the first like 3 months of this game, just because people just don't want to explore. It's annoying because like I remember when they first introduced the tech, the perfect shielding or parrying, as you will. I'm like, oh, this is gonna change the game. This is gonna be amazing. But these people don't want to go for it, and it's a problem.
Yeah, well, they're not gonna have a choice at some point. So
Oh, of
with
course
it,
not. No, because then like they're gonna try to get a shield grab, and it's just not working. They're getting hit.
yeah,
They're gonna have
man.
to learn eventually.
New game, new mechanics. Get
For
good.
real.
New game, new year, new me.
I'm saying.
That's me. That's me in like 2 weeks. But anyways, it was fun, guys. We'll be back again next week. With an unknown topic, probably. I don't know. We'll see what comes up over the weekend. I've been kind of winging these, and I think they kind of come out better when I do. But
Yeah.
That's what I'm
It feels
saying.
more natural.
yeah, well, plus things change a lot within like a short time span. So the fact that we run on Tuesday and like there's always like events over the weekend, like that always changes something. Like even seeing like Joe's retirement events to compete, like that just happened like a couple days ago. Like and that
Yeah.
was like that was something that I wanted to bring up the second I saw it. So yeah,
There's always something to talk about.
it'll be a surprise. And if any of you guys do have anything you would like to hear about, you can tweet at us. You can go ahead and join our Discord server. You could find that underneath our Twitch broadcast right now. If you're on YouTube, it's linked in the banner. Otherwise, you could find us on Smashcords and ask us there. Not a lot of people take advantage of that, but it's pretty open. So feel free to do that if you are finding these interesting and you do like to get some discussion going. But in the meantime, that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next week.
Later.
See you.